Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to call this public session of the Mayor and Council to order. I would ask everyone to please rise for a moment of silent prayer and reflection as we think about the Moriarty family. Francis Moriarty was a teacher in Milford for nearly 4 decades, and he spent 82 years of his life here. And with Memorial Day coming up, I ask you to keep veterans and fallen veterans and their families in your thoughts as well. Please salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please note the fire exits to your right and my left into the main hallway and behind you into the parking lot. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and attend any meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with this act, the Mayor and Council of the Borough of New Milford have caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Borough Hall, and notices have been sent to the Record and the Ridgewood News. The mission of this governing body is to provide essential services through the establishment and implementation of public policy that will safeguard the infrastructure, provide fair, honest, courteous, and professional services, establish a sense of trust and accomplishment between all residents, and through research and prudent planning, seek to minimize risk while improving our services. We are sensitive to the needs and satisfaction of our taxpayers, while realizing that this governing body cannot be all things to all people, within the revenue constraints imposed by state mandates, economic conditions, and prevailing attitudes about taxation. At this time, I would ask the clerk to please call the roll.
Councilwoman Samuelson. Here. Councilwoman Starkey Hurley. Present. Council President Duffy. Here. Councilman Gottlieb.
Here.
Councilman Seymour.
Here.
Councilwoman Grant. Here. Mayor Petrino.
Here. Okay, under unfinished business, may I get a motion for the approval of the minutes from the May 8th, 2023 work and closed session meetings?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Abstain.
Abstain.
Matt abstain, Randy abstain.
Thank you, Mayor.
Everyone else all in favor?
Yes.
Any opposed? Okay, at this time, I'd like to mention that our auditor is here, Mr. Stephen Wilcox. Tonight we will be adopting the municipal budget, so I'd like him to come up and give a few words, please.
Very few words. Tonight, you have the public hearing that was advertised for the budget that was introduced 4 weeks ago. We went through the state review process. The state approved the budget for adoption. The one caveat is there's a resolution on the agenda canceling $56,000+ of American Rescue Plan money that had previously been appropriated, that has not been spent, that is being utilized as part of this year's budget as revenue. As we talked about when we introduced the budget, it was a tough year between inflation and increases in health insurance and other insurances, mandated increases from the state on the pension plans, contractual salary increases. The municipal tax increase is approximately $197 on the average residential assessment of approximately $330,000. Again, just to give you context again, over the past previous years, the average municipal tax increase was $52. So this is a year of challenge, not just here in New Milford, but all across the state, the county, pretty much the country. Costs are out of control, and these are costs that none of us can control. We get bills, and we have to pay them. So, again, the controllable stuff in this budget is actually down $122,000 from last year. So, you've been able to control spending at the department level, at the municipal level, but unfortunately there's things like insurance, utilities, and interest rates quadrupled on short-term debt, so there was an increase in debt service over last year, I mean, it hasn't been a great year for anybody, but, we did the best we could do.
Yeah, I mean, I look at the garbage, utilities, and insurance. That equates to over $100 of the increase. Just those three line items alone.
And if you're doing the pension, that's another $30.
Yeah.
So, it's, again, the things you can control, you control. You've gotten close to what your average increase has been over the last 5 years. But it's just the problem here and everywhere else is the things that we can't control. You know, the garbage contractors are getting even for having a long-term contract during the pandemic with local governments. You know, they were locked into a rate, and everybody was home, so they were collecting a tremendous amount more. Well, this is their story. A tremendous amount more, paying additional tipping fees because of that, and no provision to pass that through to, you know, you as the vendor. So the next contract becomes kind of catch up. And of course, since it's such an open and fair industry, you get one bid and there's really nothing you can do about it.
Well, I think the budget committee did a really good job in a tough year. Come up with a responsible budget.
Yeah, because we started, when the budget committee started, it was a lot higher. And there were a bunch of tweaks made, a bunch of things that were taken out. Some new revenue that came in from the emergency medical, the EMT organization that went out of business. So, you know, we caught a couple of breaks. Otherwise, it could have been a lot worse.
Does anyone have any questions for Steve?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. As always.
Thank you.
As always. Thank you, sir.
My arms are long enough to tap my back. All right, thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm off for another night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
So we get a motion to open to the public for a public hearing on the 2023 municipal budget.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, now is your opportunity to comment on the 2023 municipal budget. Questions, comments? Seeing that there is no one from the public that wishes to ask a question about the budget, I ask for a motion to close to the public.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? May I get a motion for Resolution 2023:124, which is to cancel appropriated reserves of $56,200.16 from the American Rescue Plan to unappropriated reserves for utilization in the 2023 municipal budget. Motion.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Sam Houston. Yes. Councilman Sharkey Curly. Yes. Council President Duffy. Yes. Councilman Gronkowski.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant. Yes.
May I get a motion for Resolution 2023:125, which is to waive the reading in full of the 2023 municipal budget?
Motion. Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Sam Houston. Yes. Councilman Sharkey Curly. Yes. Council President Duffy. Yes. Councilman Gronkowski.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant. Yes.
If anyone goes on that, they actually have to read the entire budget. That's what happens. So may I get a motion for Resolution 2023:126, which is to adopt the 2023 municipal budget in its final reading?
Motion.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Sam Houston. Yes. Councilman Sharkey Curly. Yes. Council President Duffy. Yes. Councilman Gronkowski.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant. Yes.
Okay. We have a budget. Under new business, the first thing is a proclamation for Gun Violence Awareness Day, which is coming up. So I'll read this tonight. Office of the Mayor Proclamation. Whereas a record 48,830 people died from gun-related injuries in the United States in 2021, a 23% increase since 2019 before the onset of the coronavirus pandemic. And whereas gun deaths among children and teens rose 50% in just 2 years, from 2019 to 2021. And whereas Americans are 25 times more likely to be killed with guns than people in other developed countries. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is a mayor's highest responsibility. And whereas support for our Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from dangerous people. And whereas mayors and law enforcement officers know their communities best, are the most familiar with their local criminal activity and how to address it, and best positioned to understand how to keep their citizens safe. Whereas to help honor those whose lives are cut short and the countless survivors who are injured by shootings every day, a national coalition of organizations has designated the first Friday in June, this year June 2nd, as National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And whereas the color orange was chosen to represent this issue because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 2nd, 2023, to help raise awareness about gun violence. And whereas by wearing orange on June 2nd, 2023, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. Whereas we renew our commitment to work together to reduce gun violence and to pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands, and encourage responsible gun ownership, help keep our children, our law enforcement personnel, and our citizens safe. Now therefore be resolved that I, Mayor Michael Petrino of the Borough of New Milford, declare June 2nd, 2023 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day, to honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence and encourage all citizens to support the efforts of their local communities to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor and value human life. Okay, moving on to appointments. May I get a motion to appoint Lorraine Lacano-Golden and Far Ahmed to the Environmental and Energy Commission?
Motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Well, congratulations and thank you for volunteering your time to help make our borough a better place. So, thank you. Okay, we have a couple of introduction of ordinances on tonight. First one is 2023:22, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
Capital ordinance to appropriate the sum of $189,202 for the improvement of Light Belt Road from River Road to Pacific Street, in by and for the Borough of New Milford, the County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a federal grant.
The purpose of this ordinance is to appropriate funds from a federal grant to make improvements to Light Belt Road, which shall include road resurfacing, or reconstruction, curb, sidewalk, and drainage improvements where necessary, and all the work and materials needed as necessary. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
Motion.
Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilwoman Sam Houston. Yes. Councilwoman Saraki Curley. Yes. Council President Duffy. Yes. Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant. Yes.
The public hearing on this ordinance will be at our June 12th, 2023 meeting. The next one on is 2023:23, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
Capital ordinance to appropriate the sum of $75,000 for the undertaking of Prospect Park Improvement Project in by and for the Borough of New Milford, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, and providing that such sum so appropriated shall be raised from a state grant.
The purpose of this ordinance is to appropriate funds from a local recreation improvement grant from the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs for improvements to Prospect Park, consisting of new playground equipment and all necessary materials. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
Motion.
Second.
May I get a roll call?
Councilwoman Sam Houston. Yes. Councilwoman Saraki Curley. Yes. Council President Duffy. Yes. Councilman Grotzky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant. Yes.
This ordinance will also have its public hearing at our June 12th meeting. And Prospect Park has been getting a lot of traffic, so this is going to go a long way there. Okay, the next one, the final one, is 2023:24, and when the clerk has the opportunity, I would ask her to please read the ordinance.
An ordinance to repeal and replace Chapter 26A of the revised general ordinances of the Borough of Milford entitled Shade Trees.
The purpose of this ordinance is to modify the shade tree ordinance, which is intended to promote the general welfare of the people of the Borough of Milford by preserving and protecting trees within the borough by regulating the destruction and or removal of mature, healthy trees, which might negatively impact the overall character of New Milford and otherwise impair the health, safety, and general welfare of borough residents. May I get a motion to introduce this ordinance on its first reading?
Motion. Second.
May I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilwoman Samuelson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sarahini Hurley. Yes. Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Grodzki.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Graham.
Yes.
This too will be on our June 12th agenda for adoption. Okay, moving along, under item number 1, we have Milford Police Department Easy Ride Bike Event Administrator.
Yes, I forwarded this to everybody late last week. It's a request from Officer Keith Lester about a program that he would like to schedule for Saturday, June 17th with Easy Ride. It's for bike registration and it also is learning to ride and safe bike skills. He had proposed the use of the parking lot here. I had suggested he consider a parking lot over by Knight's Field. He's open to either of those suggestions, and I just wanted to make sure there was no, I did check with Recreation, there's no conflicts, and I wanted to find out if anybody from the Mayor Council had any questions or comments.
I think it's a great event, registering bikes and giving children the opportunity to learn how to ride a little bit and go in between homes. It's pretty cool.
Does he have a preference of the location?
I don't think he has a preference.
I think the Knight's parking lot is obviously it's bigger, but I don't know if he needs proximity to the police headquarters. So whatever he prefers, I'm okay with.
Okay.
He's running the event, so
Everybody's
yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
yes, it's good. Okay, and probably helmet safety too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he mentioned that this time of year is when traps start, so we'll be able to etch registration numbers on the bikes.
Okay, item number 2 is Boy Scout proposal, peace pole, and that's under my items. So the Boy Scout Troop 78 in New Milford had reached out to me. They had noticed that our peace pole on the Borough Hall lawn is looking a little bit old, and it's really beat up. The sides have come off. There's a few languages on it. It's deteriorated. You can hardly read it. So, as a troop, they want to replace the peace pole with a little bit larger, a little bit thicker. They're going to use the expertise of Mr. Jim Africano to help them do it. They had recommended a few extra languages to add to it, and they just wanted us to kick it around, give them the approval, and kind of think what our thoughts were. I think the peace pole should be white. I think there should be a section for maybe a little rainbow section, and then add a bunch of languages around it. So I'm open to ideas, so I can get back to them. Does anyone have an issue with them redoing our peace pole?
I think it's an excellent idea.
I think it's great.
It's a great idea.
Cool. It's well needed.
Yeah, it's a great idea. I think there are a few languages, so extending the number of languages is a very good idea as well. Because there are so many languages spoken in Milford, there should be better representation of the population.
I believe the original language is on it, and I believe it's English, Hebrew, Spanish, and Braille. I believe Braille is one of the languages on it. So I'm thinking we should add, and with their help, they had suggested some, but I'm thinking Tagalog, Turkish, Korean, Arabic, Indian, Armenian, and they had also suggested Mandarin.
Can I add in there Munsi, which is the language of the Lenape,
which is
history.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. How would I spell? Do you know how to spell that?
M-U-N-S-E-E.
Say that one more time.
M-U-N-S-E-E.
Yes, I think that gives us 12. If they have any other language suggestions, they could just let me know. this. Yes, absolutely. Other than that, it's going to be in the same exact location, and I'm figuring when it's done, maybe we get beautification, put a couple of plants outside of it, we're going to do that with a little solar light, and we'll be in business again. And just so everyone knows, in all the languages it says, may peace prevail on earth. That's what it'll say on every side in every language. So I can give them a go ahead?
It sounds like a great project.
Do they need to provide us with considerable insurance because they're going to be on property?
I think generally there's an overall one for the scouts, but I'll mention, yeah.
I'll mention to them. Okay.
And we usually need an authorization of even a comment fee from the borough, so we can include that as authorization.
No, it's just a hole.
Yeah.
It's just putting, they may, to the extent they need one,
Okay.
the borough in the past has
Especially after a motion to do this.
Usually we do it by resolution. I mean, I guess it would depend on whether or not they're going to get it. So if they need a permit, I'll do a resolution.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay. That sounds great. Okay, schedule updates. As you know, Memorial Day is coming, so here we go. Memorial Day is Monday, May 29th. The Milford Firemen's Memorial will take place in the Palmer Hall at 8 a.m. The Veterans Memorial will take place at VFW Post 4290, which is on Madison Avenue, and that will be at 8:30 a.m. At 9 a.m. starts the Milford Public Events Memorial Day Parade. It will start at the parking lot across the street from the Senior Center, and it will continue to the Borough Hall. Once the parade is finished, we will commence with our Milford Public Events ceremony on the Borough Hall lawn. I know there will be water and ice pops after the ceremony, and then right after the ceremony, we dedicate the parking lot street to our Grand Marshal, which is Mr. Paul Stuckey this year. On Friday, May 26th, which is this Friday evening, Public Events will also be hosting an event at the French Huguenot Cemetery to honor our two soldiers that are in there. One is a Revolutionary War, and the other one is a Civil War. Right? Four. They will be honored with flags, and it's usually in conjunction with the Scouts as well.
When is that again? Is that the
Friday evening.
Friday evening?
Friday evening at 6 p.m.
6 p.m.
6, right?
Yeah.
6 p.m. right at the, yeah. Is there any other events that I failed to mention that are upcoming?
I have one, Mayor, if I may. The Environmental Commission is collaborating with the Bergen County Audubon Society, so Saturday, June 3rd, at 10 a.m. is a bird walk at the New Milford Woods. So people can meet at the trailboard sign located at the edge of the swim club parking lot. 10 a.m. bird walk. Programming.
Do I need to bring binoculars?
You can.
And then you stop.
Is that one for the pain?
Yeah.
A one.
Any other events that I failed to mention? Okay. Move on to item number 4, which is the Administrator's Report.
Thank you, Mayor. May 30th is the last day to apply for a vote by mail ballot for the June primary, so that would be next Tuesday. The borough received a notice from the county about a request for audible pedestrian indications at the intersection of New Bridge Road and Boulevard. Although this is a county-owned traffic signal, the county's policy for this type of upgrade is as a shared service with the municipality. The county will install and program the equipment. They have asked New Milford and TNAC to share the expense of purchasing the equipment, with New Milford's share being $2,190. The DPW director is coordinating with the county to purchase the equipment.
What exactly is this like going to do?
It's affordable for blind. Audible, so signals so that it would be assisting people who were vision impaired.
So does that automatically happen if there is a visually impaired person in the neighborhood?
It was requested by somebody.
By someone?
Yes.
So who did they get the request? I don't know who the county.
The county.
Got it. Thank you.
Yes. I circulated earlier today good news from the State Department of Transportation, whereby they notified us that we'll be receiving a $470,000 grant for the Main Street Improvement Project. We did do Main Street streets many years ago. It's in need of updating, and happy to say that we received this grant and we'll be able to move forward with that project.
That's great.
As far as an engineering update, the New Jersey DOT culvert project, we've had some difficulties coordinating between the DOT and the DEP, which is now a familiar theme. And after discussion with the engineer and the DPW director, we're recommending that we go back to the basics and patch the culvert that was, as it was directed in the original inspection report. There are sections inside that when the water is low or in the summertime, Vince feels that those patches can be welded to meet the requirement. And so it can be done by the DPW without DEP permit under the permit by rule. The engineer is contacting the DOT to request reallocation of the grant to include that repair and also Steuben Avenue north of Milford Road. The NJDOT Boulevard and graphic traffic signal, the engineer is going to provide updated construction costs for our base bid and alternates for the rebid. He's expecting to have that to us this week, with the goal of being out to bid in June and awarding the project at the second meeting in June, which is on June 26th. Fowler Drive Community Development Block Grant Road Project, the construction is complete and the project closeout is underway. The New Jersey DOT Municipal Aid for Cedar Road, we are currently addressing the DOT comments with the goal to be out to bid in June and award the project at the second meeting in June. The Prospect Park Basketball Court Lighting, which is a Bergen County open space project, the survey has been completed and the design and coordination is underway with the lighting contractor. The construction start date is anticipated for November, and the reason for that is the lead time in ordering the materials. The tax map update is currently on schedule for June completion and submission to the state. This was the first step required for our revale, which is scheduled to be underway this year. Prospect Park Playground, the quote for the equipment is expected by the end of June. That's for the grant we discussed earlier. Rycott Road resurfacing, which is a community development block grant. River Road to Pacific Community Development Grant is being appropriated by ordinance, which is being introduced tonight, and the design is scheduled to begin this month. Moving on, the ball hall will be closed Monday, May 29th in observance of Memorial Day, and our next meeting is scheduled for 3 weeks from tonight on June 12th. That's it for me, Mayor.
Thank you. June is a busy month.
Yes.
Absolutely. Do you have any questions for the administrator? Okay. Has everyone had a chance to look at the resolutions? Are there any that need to be pulled for further discussion and or vote? If not, may I get a motion?
Actually, excuse me, there are several resolutions that are appointing some people to various bodies. And do we need to recuse ourselves in these cases, or can we vote on the resolutions?
Community development and Bergen County open space.
Pull those out. Okay.
Which ones are those?
Which numbers were those?
These are the last two.
So 142 and 141 are being pulled. Okay. Any other ones? If not, I would ask for a motion to file county committee reports with the borough clerk to be spread in full on the minutes.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Let's go around real quick. Give us a highlight. We'll start with Councilwoman Grant.
Thank you, Mayor. We attended the dedication of the Milford Volunteer Ambulance Corps building yesterday morning. As you know, the Ambulance Corps has closed its doors officially. However, the building has now become a borough building, and we installed a plaque on it commemorating the 50 years of service to Milford. The other thing is the Library Board of Trustees voted to name 2 rooms in the library after 2 long-term
board members who died recently, and they gave extraordinary service to the board and to the borough. The reading room, we like to call the Norman Furlow Reading Room, and we will be building in the corner of the library reading room, we will be building a history center to contain information about local history, and we want to name that after Tina Galusha, who started out as a history teacher before going to law school and serving on the council and on the library board of trustees. So in order to do that, name those two rooms after these members. I would like to make a motion that we go forward with that.
I'll second that.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Thank you.
It's a fantastic idea. Absolutely. Did you have anything else?
No, just those two items. Thank you.
Councilman Seymour?
Mayor, I just want to echo what Councilman Grant said. It was a real privilege and honor to attend the Milford Volunteer Ambulance Corps. And then yesterday, I just want to thank all of our volunteers and first responders for everything they do for our community. It's been such a privilege and honor to have them serve us, and they're going to be sorely missed.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councilman Nelson? Thank you, Mayor. Currently have nothing to report at this time. Thank you. Thank you. Council President?
Mayor, I'm going to forego my report and just make a comment about the first page of our agenda today. It is so chock full of wonderful things. I salute the mayor as well as this body for their commitment to Gun Violence Awareness Day. It's an issue that could touch any of us at any time. I'm also really pleased to see a commitment to improvement of Prospect Park, which was always the lost park at the north end of town. But it's really becoming a home for that section of town. There are always people there, and I'm so happy to be seeing the improvements going on there. So that's my comments for the evening. Thank you.
Prospect Park has come a long way, and now with sleigh riding and with lights there, it's one of those nonstop.
It's very well used.
Yeah,
Very well.
Councilwoman Siraki Curley?
Thank you, Mayor. I really have nothing else to report today. What the mayor has already spoke about with our parade and everything else and some of the other events at the cemetery. So thank you.
Yes, we're hoping for excellent weather. Councilwoman Sanders?
I have nothing to report today.
Okay. I just want to, once again, the ambulance corps dedication was special. It was very special. We actually served for over 85 years. Our borough and Wardell, the mayor of Wardell joined us in the proclamation and thanking them for their service. So it was really nice, and there were some misty eyes there. So yeah, it was very touching, very touching. And it was a bummer that the Municipal Alliance's mental health event was rained out Saturday morning. I know there's no rain date for it, but that was that's always a good event, and hopefully, we have it again next year.
I'm sure we will.
Excellent. At this time, I would ask for a motion to open up to the public for public comment. Second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Ladies and gentlemen of the public, if anyone has any questions or comments regarding the good and welfare of the borough of New Milford, now is the opportunity.
I'm sure.
Only use your name. That's it.
Yuki Salpa. I was just trying to figure out how to get to the recreation department. I kind of called, left a voicemail, and never got a response.
Did you send an email by any chance? Or just a phone call?
I think just a phone call.
You left a message, you said?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd be happy to have some if you want.
Yeah,
Whatever.
whatever. I'm just trying to figure out a way to get through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Usually on their website, they also have an email address to contact goes to the director and the citizen.
That I probably didn't do. I should do that too. Awesome, thank you.
But we'll follow it anyway as well. You're welcome. Anyone else? Seeing that there's no member of the public that wishes to speak, I would ask for a motion to close the public.
Second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, may I get a motion to approve resolutions 2023:127 through 2023:140?
So moved?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. May I get a motion to approve 2023:141, which authorizes the appointment of municipal representatives to the Bergen County Community Development Regional Committee?
So moved. Second.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Yes. Councilman Samuelson.
Yes.
Councilman Rocky Hurley.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Brodsky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
I'm abstaining.
May I get a motion for 2023:142, authorize appointment of municipal representatives to Bergen County Open Space Trust Municipal Program Regional Committee?
So moved.
Second?
May I get a roll call, please?
Councilman Samuelson.
Yes.
Councilman Rocky Hurley.
Yes.
Council President Duffy.
Yes.
Councilman Brodsky.
Yes.
Councilman Seymour.
Yes.
Councilwoman Grant.
I abstain as I am being appointed in both of these resolutions to those programs.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the public, we are going to adjourn to closed session. When we come out of closed, no action will be taken, and we will immediately adjourn this meeting. So we want to thank everyone for showing up today. Thank you for volunteering, and hope to see you on Memorial Day. May I get a motion to go into closed? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Good night.